The New Zealand medical system is absolute garbage. For quite a long time before I had anything to do with it, I always had this sort of fear that if ever I had to fucking rely on it, I would be absolutely screwed. And now I'm in that position, frantically trying to do anything I can, everything I can to get recognised enough to get the help that I'm after. And I'm kind of lost. When I was a bit younger, I sort of started seeing how other people were treated by them and how they had practically no luck actually getting any real help from them. When my neighbour's sister's partner had some problem with his respiratory system, he had some kind of fluid collecting in the either around his lungs or his heart. I can't remember what the actual name of the thing that they called it was, but he went down to Wellington Hospital. They couldn't really figure out what was wrong with him, and they sent him back on a fucking bus with this heart problem or something, and he ended up dying. He was about 53 or something. And it was also when my mum was in hospital. She was down in the Wellington Hospital for quite a few days, and went there, flown there from the Wanganui one. Yeah, so she needed a multiple bypass. I think it was from I can never pronounce this word properly. Atherosclerosis, which is like plaque and gunk buildup in the lungs, sort of. Well, not the lungs. What am I talking about? And the arteries around the heart. Over time, these can get clogged, and the passages end up narrower, kind of so they start off like that, and then they go smaller because they've got all this gunk gathering up in there. Some people get it through smoking and diet. Some people, I think, can just naturally get it from there's a whole lot of things that can do it, mostly diet and smoking from what I can tell. But anyway, she was waiting on this bypass, and I was sitting in there for a few days, and they were just so fucking useless, because I understand that these people are understaffed, and they can't rush to give somebody an operation on the very day that they come in, but they left it too fucking long till she ended up having this hematoma, which is it's got a big gathering of blood, almost say, if you get trauma to your one of your nails underneath, you could get a hematoma, which is a blood blister kind of thing. Anyway, there was all this blood gathering in this one spot, because I think it was something to do with the fact that while she was on this waiting around, she had to have all these blood thinners in the meantime, and because of that, it was something to do with, I think, the blood being thinner or something caused all this blood to pool in this area, and she ended up having another heart attack, and she wasn't in a condition to have the operation, and because of that, they just put stents in, which can help some people, but I think because she needed multiple bypass, it wasn't enough, and they ended up sending her back to my home city, and she passed away about 3 days later. There was no guarantee that with this bypass that she was going to keep living, but from what I've read, they have a relatively decent chance of pulling through on somebody who has this sort of thing. And so they pissed around for 4 or 5 days before they gave her this operation. If they'd fucking had their finances sorted and they had enough staff members and people available to give somebody this operation, she wouldn't have had to wait around until she had something further go wrong, to the point that she wasn't able to have the operation anymore in a stable condition, because they pissed around for so fucking long, before they actually did it. They waited too long. I don't, regardless of whether there wasn't enough staff to have it done, or they were dealing with other people, or there's too many people in there, I don't know. But I'm just so fucking frustrated with this medical system. It's fucking useless. Now, I understand this isn't probably just isolated to this country with this sort of problem. I mean, I imagine every country in the world has issues with not being able to get in to see somebody fast enough. I know that in America, people are sitting around on waiting lists forever. People are dying on waiting lists. But the thing is that, there's a lot of these countries, like America spends all this fucking money on like military stuff, on fighting wars that they have nothing to fucking do with them overseas, all this other bullshit. And in New Zealand there's a lot of fucking things that they've spent money on. For one thing, this stupid flag referendum that cost 26 million. John Key, that asshole, wanted to leave his legacy by changing the flag, spent 26 million on this flag referendum that nobody even wanted to have. It's a spit in the face to all the veterans who fought under the flag, and this asshole spent all this money just doing all this posting out propaganda to try and get people to change the flag. That's 26 million down the drain, because the flag didn't end up getting changed anyway. And apparently they spent something like 40 to 50 million or some shit on this new fucking cycleway in this biggest city, and the thing is that who the fuck needs a cycleway over a bridge anyway? It's like, there are more priorities around than giving freaking cyclists access to every part of the city. Like, the thing that pisses me off is that there's so much bullshit that this country decides to fucking spend money on. But, we've had like 500,000 new people come in and they haven't even built one new fucking hospital, and that doesn't sound like a lot of people, but for a country who's only got around 5 million, that's a significant amount. I just think, like, regardless of that, I think there's not enough people staffed. The hospitals don't have enough staff. The last time I went up to hospital, I was waiting for fucking 7 hours to be seen, just in this sort of local thing. And that's because, if you can't see a doctor during the day, or if you've got something, I went up there in the afternoon, something like 7 at night or something. I didn't get in there until like 2 in the morning. Another time I went up there and then I had to wait until the freaking morning. I was there for like 10 hours or some bullshit. I'm not just complaining about the waiting times, but it's the thing is that if anybody ever needs to be fucking seen or really has a problem, where the hell are these freaking medical professionals? I feel like every single government freaking organisation is fucking useless, and I've just got no faith at all in the medical system. It's like, I don't know about the fire department. I mean, I've never dealt with them, so I can't really say anything like that. But it's like, a lot of these government departments, especially like the cops, when people actually need them, they're never to be fucking found. Or they say, last time, we had to call them, they were like, well, if we've got somebody in the area, we'll be able to send them out. But, when actual real crime's happening, like proper, things that they should be trying to do, go to call-outs about something that actually, like, is a significant problem, they're nowhere to be found, sort of thing, never really useful. And it's like, I feel like it's the same with the medical system. It's just fucking broken. When you actually need help from them, they're pretty much useless. My sister freaking broke her arm in like more than one place, and they sent her home with a fucking sling, one of those like fabric slings, like, I don't know who the hell authorized it. I don't know how the hell, it wasn't seen by more than one person. But if you break your arm, you don't fucking send somebody home in a bloody sling. You put them in a freaking cast so it can set properly. Otherwise, it'll end up setting wrong, and you'll have to have it re-broken later on to position it back into the right way, Like, they didn't even tell her exactly how she should sleep on it, how she should take care of it. They just gave her this fucking, like, cotton sling. I wasn't there, or I would have given them, like, a fucking earful about it. But, she didn't get any information about this sort of thing. No cast or anything, like, just... And yet had, like, fractures in, like, more than one part, just absolutely abysmal, useless. But, because of all of the stuff that I'd seen with other people dealing with them and not being able to get their problems sorted out, I always said, fuck, if I ever have to deal with them, I'm going to be in a hell of a bloody situation, because it's just, it's kind of like trying to motivate them to do their own bloody job, I feel like I'm just so left in the dark, eh? Like, when that happened to my mum, I was like, I thought, fuck, like, if I wish I could have just started screaming at them and just trying to ask them to hurry up and do this fucking operation, so it could have, because, like, watching her in that condition for ages was fucking horrible. But, it made me think, it's horrible seeing other people in this position, but I thought, if I ever get in this position myself where I'm relying on them, I'm going to be fucked. you know, and it's been about 2 years, and now that I'm in that freaking position, I don't know what to do, eh? It's like, you know, if you get dismissed by one person, you get like a mark on your freaking, your name or something, and then they're like, oh, well, you've already been seen by somebody, we don't, you know, and that person hasn't really helped you or anything, and they've just like written some bullshit like saying, oh, we don't think there's anything wrong, blah blah blah, and then the next person you go to look at, you know, the next specialist sees that note on your file, and they're like, oh, well, this person's checked you off, and so we're not going to bother to see you. And I'm kind of sitting here like really frustrated as hell. I'm like, I don't know what the hell to do. My doctor's come to a dead end, that they feel like there's nothing more they could help me with. The last time, like one of the other last times that I was there, I saw the freaking what the hell's it called, my specialist person. Like, the doctor told me all I could do was wait for the specialist, and the specialist guy himself basically told me that you know, it was just like, he left me out in the dark, and I feel like I'm left alone to deal with this condition. Nobody's told me anything, nobody's freaking helping me, and I don't know who else I can see, because, you know, I've seen the hospital rheumatologist, I've seen the private one, which charged like a wounded bull, and basically told me next to nothing, and I have to move out of another city in order to go and see a different one, you know, because you can't tell your doctor you want to see somebody in another city, because I think they can only really recommend the ones that are local, you know. And then to see one in another city, you have to have a recommendation from a doctor, which means I'm going to have to move to another city, get a new doctor, and then ask them to get me in with one of these people, which will probably take months to do. You know, I want to see someone now. I want to have my fucking treatment done yesterday, you know, like I'm overdue for this shit, and I don't know what I can bloody do, but, you know, like, God help anybody in this fucking country who actually needs something seriously done, eh? Like, I feel like my friend as well, I had to watch her like helplessly fucking wait on these bastard freaking specialists with her autoimmune disease, you know, with fevers. You know, one time they reckoned that she was borderline having like blood poisoning, and she's just sitting around home with these freaking meds, you know, like these pricks just waited fucking months to deal with it, you know. And it's just, what do, you know? I just wish I could go in there. I wish I could go to a clinic like today or tomorrow and just be like, right, stop pissing around, just let me have the treatment, get it over, and then freaking go back out. And yeah, like, but I mean, that's the problem, is there's so many people like who are waiting on something, and you need to have it done like now, but it's like they just won't help you with it, you know. And when you do talk to them, they're pretty much useless. Like, I read about some guy in this country who's like, he had like some little pin-sized tumor behind his eye, and they put him on waiting list after waiting list, and by the time they saw him, it basically destroyed half of his fucking head. Like, half his face was gone after they removed it, because it got so damn big. And I'm like, that's the problem, is that when you get screwed over by your health problem, when it gets out of hand, it's not their ass that's on the line, it's not, you know, it's not their life that gets fucked, it's you, you know. I'm desperately trying to motivate these people to help me, you know, like, but I feel like I'm running out of like things I can try, you know. Like, I want to start like writing letters to the government to just ask them if they can somehow get somebody to help me, but I just don't know what I can do, eh? I just hate it, because you're at the mercy of these fucking people, you know. I wish I could go out and do it myself. I wish there was a clinic that I could just rent or something like that, and I could be like, right, somebody could teach me how to freaking work this machine, and I could get somebody to do the treatment for me, or I could try and do it myself, although it's not really a one-person sort of job. But that's just what I wish I could do. I wish I could just go into some clinic and be like, right, I know what I want, just give me this freaking treatment. And yeah, but it's like getting these people to freaking get around to helping you, you know. It feels so impossible, you know. Like, it's been 9 months I've been trying to get on this. I think the thing about, especially well, probably anywhere, but in this country anyway, is that you just have to stay healthy, eh? Because if you're ever relying on the medical system, you're fucked, you know. It's like the only time they'll seem to do anything really, as if, you know, you're completely screwed to the point that they literally can't avoid doing something. Or you go in there with like a broken bone, or you've been stabbed or something like that, you know, then they're forced to do something on the spot. But if it's anything else, you know, I'll just chuck this person on pills. They're not our problem now, you know. Fuck, I just hate it, you know. I don't know what to do, and I'm frustrated as hell. No faith in these people, man. No faith. I don't know what to do.